Hello, we're coming to you with our legislative update live from beautiful and warm and sunny Annapolis for a change.
Crossover is behind us, and the first day of spring is also behind us. So we are enjoying a almost easy day, not really, and for sure a
A
nice
pretty
day.
day, a nice and warm day, if not easy. So,
Absolutely.
wanted to do a quick check in to tell you about crossover, what has crossed over, and in what form. I know you've been hearing from us about how important that day was, and we are thrilled to say that a number of our priority bills did cross over from one chamber to the other. So they are going to fight on
They
till Sonny
live to
die.
see
They live to
another
see another
day.
day.
We had at least one bill move in each of our priority issue areas. We had 4 priority bills total pass, and of the 100 some bills we are tracking, about 60 some did survive. So there's quite a lot of good work that happened, but the challenge now shifts to getting all these good bills that did survive across the finish line midnight April 13th, which
Yep.
is sign of die.
So the clock is ticking louder than ever, and a lot of our bills that passed, they passed in different forms. So if they both passed, the Senate bill may be stronger in some cases, and the House bill stronger in other cases. So we are still fighting to make sure that we get the strongest bills possible out of the General Assembly by 11:59 on Sunny Die. But who's counting?
11:59 and 30 seconds.
Exactly. So just a couple, as JPD said, in our major areas, we had some successes. So in terms of debt, we had a bill that passed the House, sponsored by Delegate Jones. Or no, on debt, we had a bill pass that looks at home equity and it protects home equity, sponsored by Delegate Stewart. And it raises the amount that a home equity can be protected. The crossfire also passed by Senator Henson, and the Senate version is a stronger version. It increases protections for people in their home equity if they're being pursued for bankruptcy or debt collection. So we're now fighting to make sure that the House accepts the Senate's stronger version of that bill.
Absolutely. And then there was a lot of activity around tenant and housing issues. Marcelina talked about some of the homeowner foreclosure bills that we're particularly watching. There were some important reforms around disparate impact and discrimination, fair housing. Our priority bill, which was fair housing testing, moved out of the Senate and now needs action in the House. So that's SB 180, House Bill 213. So that's an absolute top priority for us to get Judiciary to move their version of the bill, or at least move the Senate bill. Only one needs to make it.
Right.
And then we are working hard. There was an important bill codifying quickly disappearing federal regulations and protections on fair housing and around disparate impact. The bill was very weakened in the Senate, so it did move in the Senate and the House, and our goal is to make sure that the House version, which is much stronger, is the one that ultimately prevails on both sides. As well as several bills around tenant screening protections and a really fun little bill around Facebook false advertising, rental scams on Facebook and Craigslist. So that was a bit of a sleeper bill. It's in the Senate, 1456, and we are very hopeful we can get that across the finish line as well.
Absolutely. And in terms of homeownership, legislation to protect people from zombie mortgages, the House version of the bill, House Bill 523, did pass. Really strong bill. Also puts in a 10-year statute of limitations for foreclosures. Right now, Maryland and Alabama are the only states without a foreclosure statute of limitation. The Senate version has not passed. It is in the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee. So our goal now is to pass a strong House version, and if we can, pass the Senate version in the same form, but at least get one of them out of the Senate JPR committee. We also are working, as you know, on strengthening protections around payday loan apps, earned wage access. And so Senate Bill 94 passed over and into the House, and it is in the same form that it arrived at the Senate chamber with, which we're happy about because it protects people from tips and also make sure that these companies are conforming to equal access and non-discriminatory treatment. So we think important new protections around these payday loan apps. So now we need the House Economic Matters Committee to vote out a clean version of that bill.
Absolutely. And there's a massive energy bill that moved out of the House, House Bill 1532. We are very grateful. A lot of the different bills that dealt with some energy assistance reforms and pushing energy assistance to more people and pushing it out more efficiently. A lot of those pieces were wrapped into this bill, as well as some reforms about multi-year rate making, which will save all consumers money. There needs to be some strengthening of the Empower program, which helps individuals access more energy efficient appliances. And so we are working in coalition to strengthen those pieces. But overall, we're very happy to see that bill move and to move with some really important elements in it.
And just one or two new bills that we're excited about. There's legislation sponsored by Senator Alonzo Washington looking at auto insurance affordability. As you may know, if you followed along for a while, that's an issue we've been working on for a number of years. And this will extend a work group on looking at affordability issues and will require the work group to recommend how to do a low-cost auto insurance program in Maryland, which will help so many low wage and working drivers who find insurance unaffordable right now. And it'll also look at the use of zip codes in setting auto insurance policy rates. So we're really excited that that has moved out of the Senate and is going to be heard in the House now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my favorite little bill.
Yes, exactly.
Senate Bill 582. Is that
Yep,
right?
yep.
This bill was a sleeper bill, and Senator Jennings put it in because of a constituent issue. And it would prohibit those unsolicited loan and mortgage offers that arrive in your mailbox from usually very speculative type entities. That these loan and mortgage offers come to you and they just look like a check. They just look like you're getting money.
So
It's
people
it's
cash the
very
check.
hidden that they're actually loans, that they're actually very high interest, and that if it's a mortgage offer, they actually take your house. So we are very excited to see that move the Senate, and it's being heard in the House today.
So not as many bill hearings right now. A lot of them are sponsor only, but we're working harder than ever, honestly, because a lot of the work now is to make sure that good bills pass, things are not weakened on the floor, things are not weakened in the committee that it crossed over to. So a lot of work behind the scenes. Your calls and emails when we send alerts, more important now than ever. We're also doing some ads, and so if you see those, please like, share, send them around. And as always, your financial support also fuels this work and allows us to be nimble to take on some really bad bills that we weren't anticipating and fight them off, which you'll hear more about soon too.
Absolutely. We have 19 days left, and as Marceline said, the fight only gets harder from here. So thank you for everything you've done, and thank you for staying in the fight all the way to the finish line.
Thank you so much. Bye.